Imagine for a moment that your heart wasn't beating in your chest, but somewhere. Somewhere a bit more unexpected, like maybe your head.
Hmm.
Well, that's actually precisely where you'd find a shrimp's heart. And look, this isn't just some quirky factoid. It's really our jumping off point for today.
Right.
Because this creature, the one that many of us just see on a dinner plate, it's actually a biological marvel. Way more complex, way more fascinating than most people realize.
Absolutely.
So today we're doing a deep dive, going way beyond the seafood counter, exploring the, well, surprising anatomy, the really unique behaviors, and the crucial roles shrimp play in our world
Hmm.
and, our economy too.
You've really hit on it. That heart in the head thing, it's
Yeah.
completely true. It's tucked away in what we call its cephalothorax.
Cephalothorax.
Yeah, basically a fusion of its head and its thorax. And its brain, its central nervous system, it's all tightly packed right in there too.
Wow.
It's incredibly efficient, almost like a central control unit. Think of it as nature showing off some really high evolutionary efficiency. Okay. And believe me, that's just the tip of the iceberg, just the first of many really quite astonishing secrets these little creatures hold. It really makes you wonder what else is out there.
Okay, so let's really unpack this unusual body plan then, starting with that very structure, the one holding its heart.
Right. So shrimp are decapods. That means they technically have 19 body segments.
19.
Yeah, 19. But they're kind of grouped into two main regions, that cephalothorax we mentioned, the head chest part, and then the abdomen, the tail part.
Okay.
And the entire body is protected by this hard, chitinous exoskeleton, like armor.
Right, like a suit of armor.
Exactly. But this armor isn't permanent. It dictates one of their most dangerous life stages.
Oh, molting. I've heard about that.
Imagine having to shed your entire skeleton just to grow. And for a period, you're completely soft, totally vulnerable.
Oof. Yeah, that sounds risky.
It's a huge gamble, which is why, many shrimp have evolved these incredible camouflage techniques or symbiotic relationships just to survive those critical moments.
And that brings us to how these physical features actually, well, help them survive day to day. They've got some serious sensory superpowers, right? And specialized limbs.
Oh, definitely. Take their eyes. They're large, compound eyes, often on these movable stalks.
Yeah, you see those sticking out.
Right. And that gives them an incredibly wide, almost panoramic view. It's not just about seeing. It's crucial for instantly detecting any movement, assessing threats and making those split-second escapes.
Makes sense.
And then they've got two pairs of antennae. The shorter branched pair, that's mostly for smell and balance.
Okay.
But the long thread-like pair, those are their primary touch sensors, constantly feeling out their environment, probing around, and their legs are just as varied. They have 5 pairs of thoracic legs, the ones attached to the cephalothorax. They use these for walking, clinging onto things, and sometimes they even have tiny claws for grasping food.
Okay, so walking and grabbing.
Exactly. But then there are the 5 pairs of flat, sort of oar-like legs under the abdomen. We call them swimmerets.
Swimmerets, right, for
Yeah.
swimming.
Primarily, yes. They're the main engines for moving through the water. But for females, they have another huge job, carrying and constantly aerating thousands of eggs until they hatch. Tireless work.
Thousands. Wow. That's a lot of responsibility.
Yeah.
And when danger does show up, despite all the senses, they have that escape move, right?
They do, that fan-shaped tail.
Yeah.
It allows for this incredibly powerful, rapid backward thrust. People often call it a jump reaction.
Yeah, like a flick.
Exactly. It propels them backwards, out of harm's way in an instant. Very effective.
It really is.
And here's another curious little fact that often surprises people. Shrimp blood. It's blue.
Blue blood, seriously.
Yep. Not red like ours. It's because it contains a copper-bead protein called hemocyanin to transport oxygen.
Huh, hemocyanin.
Right. We use iron-based hemoglobin.
Yeah.
It's just a fascinating example of evolutionary divergence, It shows how ancient and adaptable these creatures really are.
So heart in the head, exoskeleton, blue blood, amazing senses. It's clear that their physical setup is pretty unique. But how does all these bizarre features translate into how they actually live, how they interact out there? What are some of these incredible adaptations?
Well, for starters, many shrimp species are absolute masters of disguise.
Camouflage.
Exactly. They have these specialized pigment cells in their skin called chromatophores. Think of them like tiny biological pixels.
Okay.
They can expand or contract these cells really rapidly. So one moment they blend perfectly into a sandy bottom, the next they might match a vibrant piece of coral, like living chameleons of the sea.
That's amazing. instant invisibility almost.
Pretty much. And beyond that, that hard exoskeleton we talked about, sometimes it's paired with sharp spines or even quite formidable claws. That offers good physical defense, too.
Speaking of defenses, let's talk about the pistol shrimp. That name alone sounds intense. Tiny, subtle, right?
Oh, formidable is an understatement. The pistol shrimp has this astonishing ability. It has one oversized, specialized claw, and it can snap it shut so fast.
How fast?
So fast it creates a cavitation bubble. This bubble collapses almost instantly, and that collapse generates an incredibly loud sound, like a gunshot underwater.
Wow.
And get this, the implosion creates momentary temperatures reaching almost 4,700 degrees Celsius.
Wait, Celsius? That's almost as hot as the surface of the sun.
Close to it, yeah. It's unbelievable. This shockwave, this tiny sonic cannon, is powerful enough to stun or even kill small fish.
From snapping its claw.
From snapping its claw. They use it for hunting, but also for communication with each other and obviously for defense.
So this little shrimp is walking around packing like miniature heat-seeking missiles. That's mind-blowing. I bet divers hear that pop and wonder what on earth it is.
I'm sure they do. And beyond these individual powers, shrimp also show some really unique social behaviors and fascinating symbiotic relationships.
Like partnerships with other animals.
Exactly. One of the most compelling examples is the relationship between certain shrimp, often blind or with poor sight, and goby fish.
Oh, yeah. How does that work?
So the shrimp is the digger. It tirelessly excavates and maintains a burrow, a safe home for both of them.
Okay, the shrimp does the housework.
You could say that. And in return, the goby, which has much better eyesight, acts as the lookout. It stays near the burrow entrance, vigilant.
The bodyguard.
Precisely. If the goby spots danger, it gives the shrimp a warning signal, often a specific flick of its tail that the shrimp can feel with its antenna.
Ah, a little coded message.
Exactly. And that signal sends both of them retreating instantly into the safety of the burrow. It's a perfect partnership built entirely on trust and mutual benefit for survival.
That's really cool. A blind architect and a seeing bodyguard. And speaking of survival, their resilience is something else too, right?
Absolutely remarkable. They have this ability to regenerate lost limbs or claws.
They can just grow them back.
Yeah, over successive molting cycles. So if a shrimp loses a leg or a claw in a fight, or maybe escapes a predator but leaves a limb behind.
Which must happen a lot.
It probably does.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not necessarily a death sentence. They can recover from those injuries. It's not just a neat trick. It's a vital survival mechanism. It keeps them in the game. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, I mean, these adaptations, they aren't new. They've had a long time to evolve.
How long are we talking?
The fossil record shows shrimp ancestors were around over 500 million years ago.
Wow, 500 million years. Before the dinosaurs.
Long before the dinosaurs. This immense evolutionary history has given them time to adapt to just an astonishing range of habitats all over the world.
Like where?
Everywhere, practically. Cold, deep waters, warm coastal shallows, estuaries, freshwater rivers, even extreme environments like deep-sea hydrothermal vents.
Hydrothermal vents. With the super hot water.
Yep, some species can endure temperatures up to 70 degrees Celsius down there. Incredible resilience.
It really explains why they're found everywhere and why they have so many different common names in different cultures, right? Like Rupian, Gambari, Chorades.
Exactly. It reflects their truly global distribution and, their cultural significance in coastal communities worldwide.
Now, while all shrimp are pretty amazing, you mentioned one earlier that kind of pushes the boundaries even further. The mantis shrimp.
Ah, yes, the mantis shrimp. It's sort of famous for two things, really.
Okay.
One is that punch. It's often called the fastest punch in the animal kingdom.
Right.
These modified claws, called smashers, accelerate so quickly they can literally shatter crab shells, snail shells, even aquarium glass.
Seriously, they can break aquarium glass.
Oh, yeah. People keeping them have to use special acrylic tanks. But even more astonishing than the punch, arguably, are its eyes.
The eyes. What's so special about them?
Well, they're widely considered the most complex, most exceptional eyes in the entire animal world.
Okay, more complex than ours. How so?
Let's try to put it in perspective. We humans have 3 types of color photoreceptor cells in our eyes. That allows us to see, millions of colors.
Right, red, green, blue cones.
Exactly. The mantis shrimp, it has 12 types of photoreceptors. Some species even have up to 16.
12. 16. What does that even mean? What do they see?
That's the mind-bending part. It's not just about seeing more colors within our spectrum. They can perceive colors and properties of light that are completely invisible to us. We're talking ultraviolet light, infrared light, and they can see different types of polarized light.
Polarized light, like with sunglasses.
Way beyond that, they can see linear and circular polarized light. It's like, imagine they're wearing these super-powered multi-dimensional glasses that reveal layers of reality we literally cannot even conceive of.
So the world looks completely different to them.
Fundamentally different. It likely changes their entire interaction with their environment. Which raises the big question, why?
Yeah.
Why evolve such incredibly complex vision?
Yeah, what's the advantage?
Researchers have a few ideas. It could be crucial for recognizing mates or rivals in their really colorful coral reef habitats. Maybe it allows for a kind of secret communication channel using polarized light patterns that other animals can't see.
Oh, like a secret code.
Possibly. And it definitely helps them as hunters.
Oh, yeah.
They're highly active, skilled predators, constantly scanning for the tiniest movement or contrast. This vision probably makes them incredibly efficient at spotting prey or threats. And there's some fascinating recent research linking this complexity to a specific structure in their eyes, sort of a kidney-shaped body in the back.
Okay.
By tracing nerve pathways, scientists found this structure acts like a dedicated processor. It takes in all this high-level visual information, converts it into clear images, and then shares it directly with the parts of the brain involved in memory and learning. It's incredibly sophisticated processing happening right in the eye itself.
Wow. That is just hard to wrap your head around. Thinking that there are creatures seeing spectra of light dimensions that we can't even imagine kind of feels like we're the ones missing out, walking around half blind.
It certainly puts our own perception into perspective, doesn't it?
It really does. And it's wild to think the mantis shrimp isn't alone in having senses that go way beyond ours.
Not at all. Many animals have enhanced senses tailored to their world. Pit vipers sensing infrared heat, basically seeing heat signatures in total darkness.
Right.
Many birds and bees see ultraviolet patterns on flowers, which guide them to nectar, patterns invisible to us. Some eagles and hawks even have tetrachromatic vision, 4 types of cone cells instead of our 3.
So they see more killers, too.
A much wider range, yes. Probably helps them spot prey from incredible distances against complex backgrounds. It just highlights how diverse sensory realities are across the animal kingdom. Our human experience is just one version.
Okay, shifting gears a bit. Beyond their incredible biology, shrimp are obviously important in other ways. They're vital players in ecosystems, right? And of course, for us humans.
Absolutely. Ecologically, they're crucial. They are a really vital link in aquatic food chains.
How so?
Well, they feed on things like algae, tiny microorganisms, and decaying organic matter. So in a way, they act as environmental cleaners, tidying up the ecosystem.
Okay, the cleanup crew.
Exactly. And in turn, they become a primary food source for a huge array of larger creatures, countless types of fish, seabirds, marine mammals like dolphins and seals, sea turtles, cephalopods like squid and octopus.
So lots of things eat shrimp.
A lot of things rely on shrimp. And you also have those cleaner shrimp. We touched on their symbiotic relationships, like picking parasites off fish, further highlight how they contribute to the overall health of the ecosystem, like coral reefs.
Right. And then there's the economic side. It feels like shrimp is just everywhere in terms of seafood.
It really is. Shrimp is one of the most heavily consumed seafoods on the planet. It supports a massive multi-billion-dollar global industry.
Billions.
Billions. That includes commercial fishing fleets, artisanal fishers in coastal communities. It provides income and jobs for millions of people worldwide.
And what about farming? Aquaculture.
That's become huge. Shrimp farming, or aquaculture, has grown dramatically to meet the intense global demand. The annual production volumes are consistently in the millions of tons. It's a major global commodity.
So let's talk health. You hear different things. With all the focus on nutrition these days, is shrimp actually, good for you?
Generally, yes, very much so. Shrimp has a really impressive nutritional profile.
Like what?
It's packed with high-quality protein, but it's notably low in fat and calories, especially saturated fat.
Okay, lean protein.
Very lean. Plus, they're loaded with essential vitamins, particularly B12, and important minerals like selenium, iron, calcium, phosphorus.
Selenium's a big one, isn't it?
It is. Great antioxidant. And they also contain omega-3 fatty acids, which are well known for being important for heart health.
Okay, but what about the cholesterol? That's the thing you always used to hear about shrimp. Oh, it's high in cholesterol.
Right, that's a common concern, or at least it used to be. But Modern nutritional science has largely clarified this.
How so?
Well, early concerns didn't really differentiate well between dietary cholesterol, the cholesterol you eat, and its actual impact on blood cholesterol levels, especially compared to saturated and trans fats.
Ah, okay.
We now understand that for most healthy people, the dietary cholesterol in shrimp doesn't significantly raise harmful blood cholesterol levels. In fact, because shrimp is so low in saturated fat and contains those beneficial omega-3s, moderate consumption is generally considered heart healthy and might even help improve cholesterol ratios.
So the old warning was maybe overblown.
For most people, yes. The overall nutritional package of shrimp is very positive. It's a lean, nutrient-dense food.
That's really good to know. Clears up a lot of confusion. And I mean, their culinary appeal is just undeniable, isn't it? They're used everywhere.
Absolutely everywhere. While they might not feature heavily in ancient myths like some other animals, shrimp are definitely celebrated in countless coastal cultures and global cuisines.
You see that in everything.
Everything from delicate Asian sushi and spicy curries to, shrimp scampi, grilled shrimp, shrimp cocktails, endless preparations in Western kitchens, too. They're incredibly versatile, and they have that distinct sweet flavor many people love. And it's interesting, too, when you think about wild versus farmed shrimp, there are differences there.
Like flavor or nutrition.
Both, potentially.
Yeah.
Wild-caught shrimp, especially from clean waters, might have slightly higher levels of omega-3s and often a stronger, more marine flavor, plus less risk of exposure to pesticides or antibiotics sometimes used in farming.
But they're harder to get.
More expensive.
Generally, yes.
Sure.
Supply is limited by seasons, quotas, and fishing effort. Farmed shrimp, on the other hand, are much more readily available year-round and usually cheaper. But there can be downsides to farmed.
There can be, yes. The quality and safety really depend on the farming practices. If not managed sustainably, there can be risks associated with chemical residues, antibiotics, and environmental impacts. Though responsible aquaculture is working hard to address these issues. And traditional fishing, of course, mostly relies on nets and traps.
It sounds like, despite being so widespread and adaptable, shrimp populations are facing some pretty serious threats.
They absolutely are. Human activity poses significant challenges.
Like, what are the main ones?
Overfishing is a big one, and overexploitation, especially using methods like bottom trawling.
Bottom trawling.
Right.
That's where they drag huge nets across the seabed, right?
Exactly. And it's incredibly destructive. It doesn't just catch shrimp, it scoops up everything in its path and essentially clear cuts the seafloor habitat. It destroys corals, sponges, the very structure that shrimp and countless other species rely on. Nurseries are wiped out.
And that leads to bycatch, too, I imagine.
A massive problem. Bycatch is the term for all the non-target species caught unintentionally. Fish, turtles, crabs, you name it. Huge numbers are often caught in shrimp nets and discarded, usually dead or dying. It's incredibly wasteful and damaging. And this raises that critical question: what happens when these vital habitats get destroyed?
Right, the consequences must be huge.
They are. We're seeing widespread destruction and degradation of critical coastal habitats. Think mangrove forests, seagrass beds, estuaries.
The nurseries, basically.
Precisely. These are essential nursery and feeding grounds for the juvenile stages of many shrimp species and countless other marine animals. Losing them has a cascading effect throughout the entire ecosystem. And then, of course, there's pollution. Marine and coastal pollution from industrial chemicals, heavy metals, plastic waste. That's a huge issue. And agricultural runoff carrying excess nutrients can cause dead zones,
Affecting their health directly.
directly impacting their health, reproduction, and survival. And on top of all that, you have climate change.
How does that affect shrimp?
In multiple ways. Rising water temperatures can shift their distribution patterns, forcing them to move to find suitable conditions. Changes in ocean salinity, especially in estuaries, can be stressful, and ocean acidification makes it harder for them and other crustaceans to build and maintain their shells. It affects them across their diverse habitats.
So with all these pressures, overfishing, habitat loss, pollution, climate change, are common shrimp species actually endangered? Are we at risk of losing them?
That's a good question. Fortunately, for most of the common commercial species that we eat regularly, they aren't currently considered globally threatened with extinction.
Oh, okay. Why is that?
It's largely due to their life history. They tend to have relatively short lifespans and very high reproductive rates. They produce thousands of eggs, remember?
Right.
This means that populations can often bounce back relatively quickly if the fishing pressure is managed correctly and their habitats are intact. However,
There's a but.
there's definitely a but. While not globally endangered, specific local populations can be under severe pressure and become regionally threatened or depleted. And less common, non-commercial shrimp species might be facing much higher risks that we don't even fully understand yet. So it's definitely not a situation where we can be complacent. It's a delicate balance. And it's also worth remembering their natural role. Natural predators, those fish, seabirds, marine mammals, turtles, cephalopods, even larger crustaceans, they play a crucial role too.
How so?
By keeping shrimp populations in check naturally, they help maintain the overall balance of the ecosystem. Removing too many shrimp through fishing disrupts that entire food web.
So it all sounds pretty complex. What does this mean for actually protecting these amazing creatures? What needs to happen?
It really means we need comprehensive, multifaceted efforts. Sustainable fisheries management is absolutely key.
Like setting quotas.
Exactly. Science-based quotas, defined fishing seasons, limits on the types of fishing gear used to minimize damage. All crucial. Reducing that bycatch problem is also essential. Developing and implementing improved fishing techniques and gear, like turtle excluder devices or nets with larger mesh sizes.
And protecting the habitats.
Critically important. Protecting and actively restoring those vital coastal habitats, the mangroves, the seagrass beds, the estuaries, is fundamental. And promoting responsible, truly sustainable aquaculture practices is vital too, to lessen the pressure on wild stocks while minimizing environmental harm.
Makes sense.
And alongside all that, we need to combat marine pollution at its source, and crucially, continue investing in scientific research and monitoring. We need to understand population dynamics, habitat needs, and the impacts of climate change to make informed decisions.
Wow. This deep dive has really opened my eyes. Shrimp are so much more than just, something you dip in cocktail sauce.
Aren't they just...
From having a heart in its head to being this vital ecosystem cleaner, having those unbelievable senses, blue blood, it's a whole world of wonder packed into this unassuming little creature.
It truly is an ancient creature, as we discussed, with this incredibly strange body plan, these amazing senses, complex behaviors, and such an essential role in keeping aquatic ecosystems running. It's a world in itself, really. A fantastic example of life's incredible ability to adapt.
Absolutely. And it leaves us with a final thought, doesn't it? Something to really chew on. If a creature like the mantis shrimp can perceive colors, dimensions of light that are completely beyond our human ability to even comprehend, what other secret layers of our own world might we be missing? Just how different would our reality look? How different would it feel if we could experience it through senses as extraordinary as theirs?